It's Athletic LLC time. We're back. Happy to be here for another fun episode of Athletics LLC. Of course, of course, of course. There's a lot. And by a lot, there's not a lot, but there's a lot to talk about. So let's get started by saying hi to the Childs. Governor, how are you tonight?
I mean, last week this time, I was in Cali. I blinked, I woke up in Kingston, Jamaica, and now I'm back here, and I'm still recovering. So, good to be back, but boy, it's been a whirlwind couple of days.
Right. I was just doing the math as to the time zones and the days that those time zones have spanned, and I'm like, man, it's rough times. Great times, but rough times. Clyde, how are you, sir?
I am doing quite well. I am in the Santa Cruz Mountains at a place called Multiversity for the Athletes Voices retreat, which is very cool. And hopefully I will get the full grasp of tomorrow. It's one of Tiana's events, but I got an invite because she's awesome. So we are here.
Awesome. Lamar here we go. 4 minutes past Huffins. That's that guy. That guy over there. Not
it's this guy. It's this guy. You know who came to play? The guy with two thumbs. It's gonna be fun. I mean, this week was special, and I can't wait for us to dig into the crates on this one, because this week was a very special week of track and field.
Well said. Last but definitely never least, Sir Lucius. Wow.
Sir Luscious.
I know.
I mean,
Sir Luscious.
You could give him that after the weekend he had.
I mean, right. It's definitely his world, and we are all very pleased to be allowed to be in it.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
I am rolling. I am doing well. Still recovering from the big weekend, but we're doing okay here in Gainesville. We are.
Yeah, I don't know who needs more of a recovery, you or the 4x4, or 4x4.
Okay.
They're fine.
Don't jump the gun.
They're fine.
Wow. Well, let's go ahead and just attack that elephant in the room. Bite. That's how we get it done, right?
Well, if we're going track is back, first I have to start with a retraction. During during rapid fire last week, I was put on the spot and asked to pretend like I was the relay coach, a very petty question, and give an instant snapshot of my men's and my women's 4x1. And if the audience will remember, that the men's team that I laid out in order was Michael Norman to Fred Curley. Now I'm going to Grant Holloway and to Noah Lyles. And I'm here to retract that statement because USA Track and Field, let me make this very, very simple.
What row?
Leave Flamingo on 3 and let the baby run anchor and figure the rest of it out. Just leave those two alone, and you are more than halfway to a world record. Don't screw it up. Oh, and by the way, the handoffs already work and they train together. Just be smart about this. It's a lot easier.
Ding, ding.
So where was the retraction? I mean, was that a retraction?
Right.
The retraction is I had Noah on anchor. I overlooked the youngin, Arian Knighton. I overlooked him.
There's your retraction. Okay.
My bad. Okay. My mistake.
Okay.
Anchor, and I don't want to talk about it no more.
And
okay.
Listen, what USATF does actually need to learn from this weekend, right, is the right 4 win. It's just that simple. It doesn't have to be It doesn't have to be the 4 fastest necessarily, but the right 4 will definitely win.
Right.
all I'm gonna
Since
say
we're
on
being petty, which I know what that was about. I mean, Lamar, 4 minutes ain't fast. Witness the practice session that was all of about 25 minutes to put the relay together. Well, maybe it was 35 minutes. I don't know, but like the total thing. But it's
Look,
very
let's just
simplistic.
call it 30 minutes, and it definitely wasn't, but let's call it 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know, like it was just 4 guys and me, and conversations, and just some small to minor adjustments, and it works. It's not that hard.
Wait, time out. I need America to understand something. What you call the minor adjustment is like a 6-week like relay project for USA Track and Field, because the minor adjustment was Arion shouldn't be on 2 after like 150% sort of pass. You're like, no, I don't like that one. Sends Arion to Grant. Work that out. Ronnie, you come over here. All right. Now we have 26 minutes left in our 30 minutes. Go be great. Bob's your uncle.
You listen, if you know what you're looking at, it only takes 1 or 2 reps to look at it and be like, oh yeah, nah, move. So just leave it alone.
I mean,
So no,
listen,
that I think it was a great relay. They were hyped. Tumbleweed had a very good team with Marvin Bracey and DeGrasse, and I'm not sure who the third leg is. I know him, but I can't pronounce his name.
he's a Chinese sprinter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brumell was the anchor, so they had a very good team, and it was a great race, and it was a great way to pop off the weekend. I mean, they did that. I think North Carolina A&T had run 42.80 something in the relay on the women's side, and the meet just went crazy after that. But let's pop off with what popped off the weekend was the women's 200, and Favor Ophelia. I mean, it's like being in the state, right? And it's like the gun goes off and she breaks the stagger in like 5 steps, and we're like, whoa. It's not like she's breaking the stagger on girls that are running 24 seconds. And then she just kept rolling. And, you can run 2 very fast 200s on our track, especially when the wind's right. And the wind was right. That now both collegiate records in the 200 were set on the Percy Bridge track. So the last one was Walter
There's a
Davis.
fun fact for you.
What is mind-boggling is how little this country is talking about that.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling to me.
I mean, is it little or is
honestly.
it not at all? Because I feel like it's literally not at all.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
okay.
not at all.
There were attempts. Let's be fair. It's not like the Coaches Association didn't tweet it out. It's not like it didn't go out in social media. It did, but it has no traction. And high-level minded track people, us included, have been having this debate. There's a pocket of people out there that are calling it, either outright or shadow racism. I'm not on that page. It's nationalism. At the end of the day, Miss Ophelia is not an American athlete, and therefore the Americans don't really care to talk about it that much. It sucks because listen, that's the first time a woman's been under 22 seconds in collegiate history. And she deserves.
Listen to what you're saying here.
Okay, now first of all, she's not the first one to go in the collegiate history. She's the first one to go into 22 seconds in during the regular season, because both Anavia Battle and a young lady from Alabama did it last year.
Yeah, right. I mean, collegiate.
Right?
Okay. Those marks aren't given collegiate records.
Right, exactly. But my point is, okay, so, and look, just, we'll address the elephant in the room. I mean, whether you want to call it racism, nationalism, whatever you want to call it, if Abby Steiner had did what those 2 ladies, young ladies did last year in Olympic trials,
it'd be on ESPN.
The internet would have broken. So yeah. And again,
and when she does it, it will be on ESPN.
I'm not dissing Abby, but I'm also saying that I don't understand why. I don't care if she's from the moon, right? I don't care if she's an alien with 3 heads. 2196 is a very, very special and incredible effort, and it should be treated as such. And them just tweeting it once, okay, whatever. No.
I mean, listen, I had the, this is not a flex, this is just the truth. I had the pleasure of standing on the track to watch the women's 200 in between Ariane Knighton, Noah Lyles, and Flamingo. And 3 steps into the race, all 3 of the youngins say, "Woo, she's out." So that should tell you how special the run was, because you got 3 people who really know what fast looks like, who were impressed before she got off the turn.
Yes.
And look, do I think Abby Steiner is probably going to clap back and get the collegiate record back? Yeah, I do think that. I don't necessarily think she's going to own it, right? I think those 2 are going to battle, and not trying to be funny, I think a Navia battle is also going to be involved in that battle. But it is wild to me how little it was talked about.
Oh, it has no traction, no buzz.
And you know, of course, what people will say was, well, it got overshadowed by the 4x4. And I call BS on that, because that was a whole 24 hours late. No, it was like 26 hours later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Like, she should have owned the headlines and the internet the first night.
Absolutely.
The next morning when we came to the track, everybody should have been talking about the internet buzz that Favor got from her 200 from the night before. And nobody was talking about it.
And everybody was talking, well, most people, myself included, were talking about the fact that nobody was talking about it. Because I didn't understand.
That's what the conversation was.
Yeah.
Was the fact that nobody was talking about it.
Right.
It's,
you know,
it's one of those moments in our sport where it's a lost opportunity, right? Because in that moment, I mean, everybody should have been making a big deal about it. That could. It should have been on ESPN. It should have been picked up by World Athletics. It could have, you know, there's so many things that I was actually surprised that World Athletics didn't give it the pub it deserved, because she is an international athlete, right? So I'm disappointed that it didn't have more traction, but I'll say this, Miss Ophelia dropping that mark where she did and when she did might have just thrusted the women's 200 into the top spot for best race of the year at nationals, because it's not indoors.
Yeah.
The lanes don't matter anymore. And we all assumed that we were going to get an epic battle between Steiner and Miss Battle. Well, now the collegiate record holder done thrown down a marker and made a statement. So now it's a 3-way race. And I mean, honestly, we're going to get 3 21-second races, I think, head to head.
Well, you know,
so is she the favorite?
No, I can't say that. Abby's the favorite.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, we will. So here's what I'm going to tell you. First of all, I told Sir Lucius that I thought she was going to beat. I mean, I saw Sir Lucius. I told Lamar I thought that Favor was going to break it before Abby did. I told him that.
He did. He said that. He said those words.
So I'm going to tell all of you this. You need to do a couple of things. I'm going to pray for very good weather in 3 weeks in Oxford, Mississippi. And if you are in the neighborhood, you might want to stop by for that one, because that's the first time they will lock horns.
They will lock horns. Okay.
Yeah. And it's going to be special, because I called Lamar after the 100 because everybody's talking about the 1092, which was spectacular, but nobody noticed that the other one ran 11 flat.
Right.
Nobody talked about that, you know. And don't get me wrong, they're doing some very special things with Abby and Lexington, Kentucky, but people run faster than the 100 and 200 every year in Baton Rouge. It's nothing new, right? So you got to give Dennis Shaver and his crew, they're going to have it ready. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be quite the show, But I mean, look, congrats to Favor. It's a shame on everybody for not talking about it more, because it's not just whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, the people that are always out there making predictions, None of them are talking about it. You know, it's not just the media, the paid media, I'll call them. It's just the talking heads out there, the track people that are always got something to say. They're not talking about it. And shame on them. You know, shame on them.
Not trying to be funny. That's why we're on this show, right? Everybody expects us to not miss anything. Just not trying to be funny, but it's just true.
But you don't miss 2196. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I agree. We wasn't gonna miss it.
Right. No, but anyway, I mean, like, you know, that kind of got the ball rolling. I mean, you know, great. You know, I'm gonna give a shout out to a guy I work with, Mr. Quincy Hall, dropping 48.5 in the 400 hurdles. You know, he's been working really hard, and we're starting to iron out some things. But as we know, 48.5 in the 400 hurdles isn't fast anymore, so we still got a lot of work to do. But you know, what a great way to start the season. And,
I'm about to say that it's not fast anymore, but for that dude, and if you study his history and know from whence he came and all the issues that he's been having, just him getting himself together to put that race together as an opener is a big deal. Mm-hmm. It's a really big deal.
I'm just gonna say this: like, there were so many marks. And we're gonna dive into it, right? But there were so many marks from Tom Jones that were not ballyhooed, that were truly special because of the ridiculousness that happened at the meet. That, like, if you weren't at the meet, you missed crazy things, like 11 flat in the women's 100.
Yes.
By a collegian, by the NCAA champ indoors.
Carolina.
Alyssa Jefferson.
Yes,
six
it wasn't teams running 302. Or faster.
I mean, just the fact that she was 11 flat into a very slight headwind, right? Like,
yes.
It was a whisper, but it was the way she did it. You know, it was very controlled. It was very technically right. You know, and it was nice to watch. And hey, the performance of the 100 for me was Shania Collins running 10.98.
Right.
Hey, that's a resurgence for you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes. And see. And I think Clyde and I text about this. Nia Ali's a problem, folks.
She's a huge
problem. That's where I was going.
Go ahead, brother. Hey, look.
Listen, I will admit this. I don't remember what year it was, but it was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was an indoor meet, and somebody was asking me what I thought about the women's hurdles, and I left Nia Ali off of the podium. And of course, she won the thing. Mm-hmm. Nia Ali, she may never break the world record, though I think she could. Nia Ali is just one of these just intensely competitive, psychotic people that I'm telling you, I don't know how, and I don't care. Like, Nia Ali's going to make the team. And if you give her this much of an opening, she's going to fuck around and win the world championship again, just because that's what Nia does. Like, it used to be Dawn, who was always going to find a way on the team, and you better not let Dawn be near the finish line in contention because she's going to figure it out. Nia is that way, but way more psychotic, like in a positive way. Like, Nia's a monster. Mm-hmm. And she's absolutely back. Fresh off whatever baby number 3 and stepping out there running 12.5. People, and correct me if I'm wrong, she doesn't even need to be ready at the trials because she is the defending champ.
Yes,
exactly.
So it's a whole problem. And I'm telling you right now, whatever your predictions about Worlds in Eugene are, it better include Nia Ali on the podium, because there's no way she's not going to be there.
I put it like this. And Sir Lucius has been through it. Lamar, you've been through it. Clyde, I'm sure you've been through it. But in the professional ranks, right? You're coming off your 3rd kid, right?
Yeah.
You know what the field is going to be, right? Yeah. And you're going, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yes. And that was the beauty of it. Okay, so, you know, we get the entries, and like we see Camacho Quinn,
yes,
and then Reina calls and goes, hey, can you enter Nia? You know, I left, you know, she didn't get in. Oh yeah, I didn't left her out somehow. We're like, well, sure, right? So then,
Why not?
So they raced each other in the semi and the final, and in both races at hurdle 7, Nia's still there,
Oh man.
right?
And when he
And
says
folks,
there,
he says some-
folks,
and-
he means
yeah.
he means in her hip pocket.
Right. And let's be clear, Camacho Quinn's on fire right now.
Yes.
Absolutely on fire.
Trent 12-3 in April. Hello.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, because okay, with all due respect, the women's sprint hurdles is still the coldest game on the planet. It still is.
Yes.
And since last year, Camacho Quinn has literally dismantled everyone in the race.
Everybody. Yep.
But not Nia Ali.
Right.
In her opener.
Right.
Mind you, in her opener.
Right.
Off the third kid, didn't dismantle Nia Ali. Listen, I'm telling y'all, she's gonna be right there.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And then on the collegiate side, he goes 12-8, 12-61, 12-63.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
another just an outstanding race.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
God.
I mean, and the beauty of that race was, like, I think coming into the meet, like 5 of the women that were in the NCAA indoor final were in that race, right? And it was a great competition. They lined up and they got it done. But the best part of that race was, like, the wind had been blowing in the opposite direction all day long, and literally as they put the hurdles on the track, it changed.
It changed.
And so I was standing there and I look at Dennis Shaver and I go, "We got to change it, don't we?" He goes, "We got to. We can't make them run into this wind." And literally I just turned around and go, "Flip it," and everybody started right? So at one point in time, there was Dennis Shaver, Raina Ryder, and myself all working on the same row of hurdles.
Wow.
And Raina Ryder goes, "This has to be the highest paid hurdle crew in the history of man."
That's funny.
Yeah, but we got it done. The race started on time and they rocked. It was wonderful.
Awesome.
Let that be a lesson to all meet directors and folks. It just takes the will to do it.
Yep.
And it's what you're supposed to do.
And I mean, everybody chipped in. You know, I'm not sure if out for 4 minutes, were you out there?
Yes, sir.
We were. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know I saw you, but by the time I saw you, we were all walking towards there. You know. So, but he was there. Lennox Graham from Clemson. Everybody just fit there. Yeah.
What I want people to understand, right, is, like, listen, a lot of times high-level head coaches at Power Fives become presidential, right? They are hands-off on a lot of things. And I know he's my guy, and I know I'm going to sound like a homer, but I want everybody to understand this. After like 4 events, Sir Lucius says to me, "I got to get on my starter and my officials because we're a whole minute behind. We were 5." No, these are his exact words. He said, "We were 5 minutes behind, but we got them back on track, and now they're going backwards again."
Hey.
That is attention to detail that people need to understand about putting on track meets. Like, this is what I want everybody to understand, right? It is very difficult to put on a track meet. It is damn near impossible to coach some of the people that Sir Lucius has coached this year. To do both simultaneously is next level stuff, folks. And I want people to start to not just be fans of the sport, but to start to learn about your craft, right? Learn how long 100-meter heats and 800-meter heats and 1,500-meter heats take. So when you put together a schedule, there's some science to it.
And there's some,
you know who to push and prod to make sure that everybody gets what they get. Look, here's small nuances that people weren't paying attention to. There were some events where the pros went before the collegians, and there were some events where the collegians went before the pros. Every single one of those events was done properly. People need to pay attention. This stuff doesn't happen by accident.
Oh man.
So we're not swinging away from Gainesville. until we address the pure ignorance that is 258-53. I have the list, the national list pulled up in front of me, and I'm just going to tell you, it looks disrespectful on the top 10. It does. It looks funny. Okay. Sir, the floor is absolutely yours.
Well, wait, before we give him the floor, I just want to give a small backstory. The Adidas crew minus Stevie and the Florida Gators crew have been jaw-jacking at each other since September.
Yes.
Right? So we were just all privy to like a collegiate pro gang war that the other six teams in the event, like, just like, look, DA at TCU said it. He's like, oh, so we just got caught in the crossfire. I was like, unfortunately, yes. Yes, you did. All of your 302s that weren't in the picture, like that got disrespected on all the internet, versions of the video because they weren't in the screen and they ran 302. Yes, you got caught in crossfire of, the Hatfields versus the McCoys. And I heard tell of disrespectful things being said, like, oh, y'all are old and y'all are washed up and y'all can't run fast no more. I mean, we're talking about 20-somethings being talked bad about.
Well, I mean, the
now
oldest
the
guy
floor
on
is
the relay,
yours, sir.
I think the oldest guy on that relay is Stevie, because Grant's 24. Arion calls everybody old. He's 18, so he can do that. And I think Quincy might be 25, right? So, or yes, in that area. So, but I mean, like, again, it was a phenomenal run. I honestly, there was a point in time where I wasn't going to allow that to happen because of all the chatter. And I kind of got, somebody asked me if I was scared. So then, that changed everything right there. So I'm not afraid. But I mean, I think the beauty of it was that because of all the trash talk, there's always somebody's going to go out and try to do too much thing. Right. Yeah. And because nobody did that and everybody just went out and did their job, like I told them before, the rest was like, look, make them beat you. Right. But make them beat you by doing it the right way. Don't go out here and go out too fast, because none of them are going to do that.
Right.
Like I told Jacory off the top, I know who he is, you know who he is, but you got to run it. Right. Just do your race and you'll be fine.
Respect.
And that was the beauty of it. Like,
don't fear
exactly.
them. Respect
exactly
them,
right.
Don't fear
right.
Okay.
And that's what made it special.
Well, so to me, watching it on video, I know you have the numbers because you were there and it's your crew. Jacory Patterson outsplit the Olympic champion, did he not?
No, they were equal. They were equal.
They were even. Okay,
even.
Great. So you ran him even.
Man.
44-2.
Right.
Listen.
Well, okay, so look, so let's talk about Jacory here for a moment. Like, Jacory Patterson is one of those very unique individuals that can just do about anything he wants. And everybody knows Jacory as a 400-meter guy, but Jacory ran 10.4 and 20.65 in high school, right? So Jacory is really, we're really exploring Jacory's sprint prowess. Yeah, we're exploring that. And the great thing about that is, as we've kind of delved into that, he opens up at 10.11. Now his confidence in the 400's gone through the roof, because he said to me, he's like, well, I can go out as fast as I want now.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me anymore. Yeah. So like when he just follows Stevie around the track. That was pretty cool.
I'm coming.
Pretty cool.
Here we come.
Yeah. And the beauty of that race was that, like DA said to me, he goes, man, like, I'm looking at the gap and I think my guys are running like crap. And I stopped to watch my guy split 45-2. He's like, but he wasn't even in the same area code, So.
Sometimes you ride that wave. You just catch a wave and you just go with it.
I want to say this to all the assistant coaches out there, right? Sometimes your boss, in this case, my guy, but sometimes your boss gives you a job and just says it offhandedly, hey, I need you to do this. And you walk away, you're like, does he understand like how important and like wildly like significant a job he just gave me? So before the 4x4, Sir Lucius says to me, "Hey, I want you and Coach Mann to split the Adidas team in the 4x4." And I just said, "Okay." And I keep walking, and like 10 steps later, I'm like, "What?" So I gotta pay attention and get this right.
Yes, you
Look,
do.
I'm like, I gotta pay attention and get this right. I can't be a fan.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why he assigned two people.
That's why
in
he
case one of
assigned
y'all
two.
screwed it up.
Exactly.
Well, he knew I wasn't gonna screw
And
it up.
also kudos to the Adidas team for showing up and getting it done. Because a lot of times those guys, they come to the meeting, they don't run. But that group was like, we're running, and like Grant had watched Champion do some 450s earlier in the week, and he said, I'm watching this dude do these 450s. He said, I got to get away from this dude because I know he's going to be coming, right? So if you watch Grant, he grabs his stick and he just takes off and puts a gap on him, right away. So I mean, so the chatter, it was a good chatter, and obviously it's a special group of young men, and I told Lamar probably a month ago after Texas Readers, I thought we could run 257, and I still think we can. I do,
Man, oh, man.
And so, and obviously that that in favor were the big runs, but didn't the guy throw the discus like 212 feet?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a 143.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number
143 and 800
3 in collegiate
all time
history.
in collegiate history. Yes.
And the number 400 on the women's side of
On the women's side, yeah. All time.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I mean,
if you weren't in the building, I promise you, the 143 happened and the 49.8 happened, and literally 5 minutes later, everybody in the entire place was like, "All right, what's next?" Like we got so spoiled by the meet that we were like literally gluttons for more greatness.
Yeah.
Because the 143 got no love.
We're all super nerd track fans, right? But I don't think any of us have the stomach to put a collegiate track meet on television, hit play, and sit there. I watched the replay wire to wire, and for the most part, this was my posture. Like I had the face on the whole time because it was just one after the other.
Was it a perfect day, Sir Lucius? Was it like?
Yeah, it started on Friday because and we call it the Walter Dix win, right? Where when Walter ran 19.6, the win it's coming across the turn,
right? And
so on the straightaway, it's like 1 point this. But on this turn, because we don't know, I bet you it's 3 point on the turn, right?
Right.
Especially if you're in the outer lanes where it's a little, so and that's what you got on Friday. And then it wasn't like scorching hot, but it was hot. And then you had just like every event had special people in it, right? And
they all showed up.
Yeah, that's what. In the women's 800, the top two girls ran 201. They both the girl from Ole Miss went out in 60.3 and came back in 60.7. It was just crazy stuff like that, And the thing was in the men's 800, when the guy from Texas Tech went, and when you don't watch anybody break Brandon Miller, right? He just broke him and kept going, and we were standing there like, either he's running really fast, or they're not just Brandon, they're all running really slow. And he was running really fast.
So here's a question: greatest one day or meet on your track that you've put together?
Regular
Where
season.
would this stack up?
We've had some Florida relays. I have to go back and look historically, but
yes,
I have to. When you have two collegiate records, the two collegiate records and all the other stuff we just talked about, the 212 feet and 143, it's the best track we've ever had on our campus. So let's just stop it right there. Yeah, it's just like
Okay.
I mean,
like you had two guys jump 7.3 in the high jump. Young lady from Texas A&M jumped 22.7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Not that it's metrically, it was a pretty big win behind her, but she still did it. I mean, mean, Jasmine Moore jumped 46 and some change into a headwind, right? Her to Tracy Hooper. The Tracy Hooper broke her country's national record in the triple jump. You know,
Wow.
it just was just like in the men's 100. Like, okay, let's address it. Matthew Bowling runs 998. Right?
I was gonna say we haven't mentioned that.
We haven't even mentioned that yet.
We've
Exactly.
been talking about this track meet for 30 minutes. We haven't mentioned Matthew Bowling's running sub 10 legally.
He ran sub 10 legally. And then but every heat, okay, here's 998, here's 10-0, here's 10-1, here's 10-1, right? And then Noah and Ariane and that crew step on the track and they run 10-04, right?
Oh.
And it just rolled. It was just incredible. And
wait a minute.
on the women's side, same thing.
I honestly can't sit here and remember. So Grant, 100 meters, what was his time?
He ran 10:21.
10:21. I was highly disappointed in the time, not him. But I tried to warn you. I told you what he was going to do. You did.
I told you.
You did.
Because he's been doing starts with Ariane like all week, and he's been beating Ariane. So when he watches Ariane run 10:04 in the heat before him, he's like, well, I'm going to run 9:9.
Right.
But you don't run 9:9 by over competing. You execute, right?
Yeah.
And so trust me, like it took a couple of days to get his rhythm back between the hurdles this week because he's out there, doing the monster stride thing in the 100. I'm like, what are you doing?
And I don't want to hear anybody 8 weeks from now talking about out loud or in the background or behind closed doors. I don't want to hear anybody talking about, well, Grant ran the 100 and he ran 10-2. Shut the hell up.
Yes, please.
Watch the video
Yep.
of the turn. I don't want to hear it. There is no better third leg in this country, probably in the world, than that man. Leave it alone.
Yep.
And look, to your point earlier,
reminder.
Point earlier about leaving the youngin' on anchor, listen, this is not a shot at Trayvon. I need to put that disclaimer out there. But I just want to say this. You are what your PR says you are, right? The man's PB is 977, and he got dismantled by Ariane. It's not a shot against Trayvon. It's a reason to leave Ariane on anchor. That's my point.
Okay, so can we hold here for a second? Because people jump on me when I make these type of points. Your ability to come out of blocks and run a straight line over 100 meters has absolutely nothing to do with your skill set to be an anchor or to be a third leg or to be a pop off or to do anything else. I'm sorry. Ariane destroyed the anchor so badly, I forgot it was Trayvon he was running against. Like, it wasn't close. And it was getting worse as they got closer to the finish line.
Ariane Knighton with a running start might be faster than everybody.
He is.
Well, there's still a Joseph Fambale on this planet.
Okay. But Big Joe runs for a foreign country, so that's not even an option.
But in the United States, Ariane might be faster than everybody with a running start.
See, I would reserve judgment to see him and Noah get the stick at the same time and see what happens then. Because
trust me, I wanted to see that this weekend.
Yeah.
Because I was greedy, like everybody else.
And that was the talk in the infield after, because three of the guys on the 4x1 were truly Adidas and one is not truly Adidas. But so there's like, what happens if you put Noah on that team?
Yeah.
Then what happens? Right?
Well, put him on the backstretch because 3 and 4 are done.
Let me tell you something. Listen, if you pop off Ronnie Baker and run Ronnie Baker to Noah Lyles to Flamingo to Ariane, pick a country. Pick a country. I'll take those 4 against any country, including the remainder of the United States.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'll take those 4 dudes against any other 4 dudes in the world.
So can we address the other meat?
The other two.
There's 2 other meats.
The other 2.
Swing to the West Coast.
Before we get to other meats, like this is my point about Tom Jones. Tierra Robinson Jones ran 50.89 at Tom Jones for a monster PB and a monster run by a collegian, and she got beat by a second by her teammate.
Yes.
Our teammate.
Right? Like, look, let that wash over you, folks. You run 50.8 and you might not be the fastest person sitting in your bus seat back to the hotel.
You're not.
Yeah.
You
Depends on who you sit with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
See, and again, that was the beauty of the meet. But when you look at so about a week out, and we talked about a little bit on the show, right? But we're sitting in the office, and all of a sudden we realize, okay, you got Florida, Florida State, Texas Tech, TCU, Texas A&M, Clemson, LSU, North Carolina A&T. Then North Carolina's bringing people, and North Carolina State's bringing people, and then by the way, Miss Jefferson's coming, right? And like quiet as is kept. Let me give a shout out to somebody. Dana Boone is coaching, folks.
Yeah, she is.
Always.
Dana Boone's getting it done down at UCF. She's got these people nobody ever heard of, running 52 flat, running 12 sevens, and her relay team ran 331 all by themselves. Just out there getting it done out of the slower heat. So no, I mean, it was just a phenomenal competition. But when you have that kind of group here, that's what you expect, and that's what we got.
And I'll say this, it was said out at the meet, random spots at various times, because at one point, whatever day it was that I was there all day long, I heard it several times, is that meet was better than Florida relays.
It was.
And it was just crazy.
Better than Texas relays. You know what's funny?
And that too. How long we've been talking about this meet? We didn't mention Trey ran 13:22.
Yeah, he
just
did. He ran 13:22.
Just as I guess the point is like, listen, I do feel incredibly fortunate that I was blessed enough to be there for the whole meet, but I promise you folks, we're forgetting something. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The world indoor champion in the 400 opened up at 2012 in the 200. Made it look real easy.
There you go.
Made it look real easy. Yeah.
Oh, a redheaded ginger from Great Britain ran 2019. I don't even know his name.
Dobson.
And I'm standing there with. Yeah. I'm standing there. Dobson is his name. I'm standing there with the British record holder, John Regis.
And
he's like, "Did I just see a ginger run 2019?" I said, "Yes, you did." Yes, you did.
All right, so West Coasting it. Where me and the governor were out on the West Coast.
Yes.
And nothing in totality will top Tom Jones, but
no.
Mount Sac and Brian Clay were epic in their own right.
Yes, they were.
Let me start with what I thought might have been the most impressive. Michael Williams dismantled all the pros. I mean, dismantled. 983.
Yep.
And yes, it was slightly windy, but I do mean slightly. Hey, again, that kid got his nose right in there and made the Olympic trial finals last time. So there's nobody that he is worried about, concerned with, or scared of. And I'm sorry, 983 right now, he's a problem.
Yep.
Very serious problem.
I mean,
I think we also have to understand that, like, when you watch the race, like he was like, most times people get in that arena and they're like, panicky and tight. The dude stood up at about 20 meters, like, I'm out.
Yeah. He's like, the hell with this.
Exactly. Like, this is my playground and I'm tired of dealing with y'all. I'm out. And it was a great run all the way through the line. It was very, very nice.
How much stock are we putting into Miss TT Terry's race? I mean, how long has it been since we've seen that?
Well, I mean, it's just only been a year. She ran 1070 something last year, like at the Pac-12s or something, I think,
Right. So I was super impressed with TT simply because coaching changes are often difficult. And
yes,
she made a drastic one.
Yes.
And so for her to seem to be in a place where it's working and she's figuring things out early is a great sign for TT, and honestly a great sign for American, American women's sprints, because we have a void in the 100 meters right now.
Yep.
And I mean, and let's be real. The Jamaican came out, flew all the way out here. And listen, this is the psychology of this. I love it.
Oh man.
Okay. Elaine Thompson has nothing to prove.
Nothing.
Arguably the GOAT by all accounts. She's never been to Mount Sac, and there's no reason for her to be there. She got on a plane and flew all the way out to Cali wanting the smoke, and no one gave it to her. So she chucked the deuces and didn't even show up for the final. She's like, y'all wasting my time out here with this bullshit. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
World lead. See you. End of story.
So, what about Miss Thomas running the 100 and coming back 30 minutes later to run 22 flat?
Hey, listen.
Yep.
And you know what? I heard on the replay broadcast that Tanja was in the hospital for something. I don't know anything about that. Tanja, I hope you're good. I hope everything is okay. And Tanja's coaching her ass off.
Yes,
She is.
Like, Gabby was incredible.
Yeah, well, since you brought it up, Tanja has been in the hospital. I'm not gonna put her business in the streets, but she is back home now. She's recovering well. I spoke with her yesterday, so
Awesome.
she's doing better. Yeah.
I mean, if you saw the interview with Gabby, she said, they were treating it like practice. She knew that was the schedule, but she didn't realize that it was as tight as it was.
Yeah.
And so I was shocked and pleasantly surprised that she didn't dip out on it. Yeah. But it was literally, I don't even think it was a full 30 minutes. Like, it was back to back, basically.
Yeah.
And for her to come out there and on the tail end of that drop the 22-0, man.
So what do we think about the Curly Norman matchup?
It didn't disappoint.
Ooh, at all. Ooh.
At all.
I want to start this banter by saying this. I said to Sir Lucius somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks ago, I think the men's 200 of the U.S. Championships is going to be the best event other than the women's hurdles.
Oh, man.
And I said, I'm deathly afraid we're going to leave somebody who runs 19.7 home. It probably sounded like hyperbole when I said it, but let's just think about it. 2 quarter-milers just ran 19.8 in their openers. Well, that wasn't Fred's opener. It was his second.
It definitely wasn't Fred's opener.
It was his second 200.
Yeah.
They ran 80 and 83. Ariane looks like he's going to run, I don't know, 11 seconds in the 200. Right? And Noah hasn't run yet.
Right.
Right? And we're not even talking about anybody else. There's a lot of
Derek ran 40. He ran 45.3 in the 400. Nobody noticed that. It wasn't very pretty. He went out a little bit too fast, but he still ran 45.3.
Yeah.
No, there might be 1 or 2 19s that get left at the house.
That's highly possible.
19.7s.
Yeah, for sure. That's very, very possible.
19.7s.
And what makes that intriguing to me is it's a world championship year. It's not an Olympic year.
Right.
So I'm gonna do the 100 on opening weekend and then come back 10 days later and figure it out. No. It's all in the same weekend. So you better be very strategic. You can't just go out and run the 100 and think the 200 is going to be cake, because it's not.
Nope.
I just love that we're seeing 2 meets where money isn't on the table and these folks are laying it on the line. Like this is stuff that, Lamar and I, Clyde, you went through this. You chased the competition. Like, you wanted to be there. You wanted to go line up with the best, because that's how you figured out where you stood. This is how you know where you're at. And we haven't seen very much of that outside of, hey, here's a payday. Let's do it because we're pros. to see this at Tom Jones and to see this at Mount Sac, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I hope it continues, because this is a weird year. I mean, with World Championships being in July, like there isn't going to be much room to be over in Europe, you know, going back and forth. Like you're probably going to make one trip and that'll be it.
That's
you know,
right.
so I love it. Absolutely love it.
And you're getting back to the Mount Sac stuff. Look, some things are obvious, and you know, at this point, everybody's expecting. Obviously, USC is USC, and Jet is coaching her ass off. Devontae Burnett ran 9.99. The USC women were, you know, very impressive, as we expect. But there's some underrated things that went on out there that definitely caught my attention, because I've been kind of waiting on it, and I root for these people. Ronnie Harrison is doing an excellent job at Cal Berkeley. And, you know, obviously that's the place I left, and the team that I left. The young lady, Ezinne Alva, is currently sitting number 10 in the country, and she beat Kimber Nelson head-to-head in the 100 this past weekend.
Straight up to her face.
Straight beat her. Now, understand, a year ago at NCAA regionals, this young lady runs her lifetime best 11:30 in the first round. In the next round, head-to-head with these same people, couldn't handle the moment and ran 11:80.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward a year later, Ronnie is doing a hell of a job, not just with her, with the whole crew, but she is stepping into what many of us always believed she could be. And it's fun to watch. Yeah. She's currently sitting on the list, number 10 at 11.12 seconds. Win legal.
Awesome.
Fantastic job by Coach Harrison and Miss Alva.
I think you also, you know, in that same event, you have to give a shout out to the young lady from Texas, and she ran 10.98.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Julian, Miss Alford.
Yeah.
Julian Alford.
10.98.
Yep.
I mean, there was so much going on out there. Like,
well, the unfortunate part for Ronnie, I think half the reason people don't realize the job he's doing is because statistically, he's the second best coach on that staff. Because Mo Satara, this is his world, and we're just all happy to be there.
I mean, listen.
Wow.
Crushing it.
You talk about
off the top of my head, collegiate record holder in women's hammer, 74 meters. Second girl is 70 meters. Current NCAA leader on the men's side, Alekna, 67 meters. Another kid that's over 60 meters in the men's discus. He's got a kid over 20 meters in the men's shot put. I'm missing an event because I think he's got a female discus thrower that's like in the top 15. Like he's like, pick an event.
Yeah,
I got top 10 people.
Yes.
Mo is crushing it.
Yeah,
absolutely crushing it. And Cam went out at Mount Sac and re-broke her record.
Absolutely.
Re-broke her own collegiate record. Like she
pulled
come
the
out of there
James
with
and
a medal, man.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
Yeah. So can we talk about the consistency of Mr. Cherry?
Yes. Opening.
Yes.
44-2.
I was blown away when I saw that stat. 15 straight sub 45 performances. That is insane. That is
JS strikes again, doesn't he?
Yes. Love it, man. Love it.
And he's locked in. Like he's like you watch him run and like he's just locked.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
People forget Mr. Cherry's last race of the season last year, he ran 44.0.
Right.
His first race of this season, he ran 44.2. Hello?
Yes.
I need
43 seconds is coming, baby.
43 seconds is coming. Listen, write it down in pen. Coming.
Yes, absolutely.
Coming.
And the phenomenon continues. Another week, another meet, another complete replacement of the top 10 marks in the country in the distance races.
I mean,
he's started. Hey, my man at Alabama breaks the collegiate record in the 1500.
Yes, at Brian Clay, different competition.
I didn't even know that.
But
So he
Brian
was
Clay,
one of the 126 guys that ran faster than 350 in the 1500 this weekend. Hence my name for the show.
right. So
30 guys ran 340 or faster in the 1500.
Right. The 10th best mark in the race, in the event, the 10th best mark in the event is 3:38:05, which is currently number 10 in the country.
That's sub 4 minutes, folks. That's why I said 4 minutes ain't fast. They out here killing it. Killing it.
So you're basically traipsing around the country trying to find lightning in bottle. And okay, where's everybody? Okay, that's where we're going.
And it's happening, right? And
yeah.
it's so if you're unfamiliar with Mount Sac weekend, as we all refer to it on the West Coast, because of the oddness of the schedule that is Mount Sac relays, Brian Clay and Long Beach kind of serve as these what used to be overflow meets.
Yes, satellite.
But now, right. But now Brian Clay has figured out, like, nah, damn that. We're gonna have these elite distance carnival joints.
Yep.
The night before or the night of everything popping off at Mount Sac, and it's close enough that everybody can get away with it.
Yeah,
like that's turned the mid distance meet. It's Brian Clay now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty phenomenal. So I gotta say, being in that stadium for the first time, I fully understand. Fully understand. That is where the Olympic trials need to be at some point. Should have been. That is they did an amazing job with that stadium.
I'm glad the governor is one of us here that got to see it in person. So now the next time when I say it's the cathedral,
yes,
Mount Sac, and everything else, no one looks at me like I'm crazy. Oh, it's a JUCO. I don't give a damn about it being a JUCO.
No,
listen to me.
No.
Well, here's a little bit of trivia for the rest of the country who thinks they have certain pictures in their head about junior colleges. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to say this and you're not going to listen. You're not going to understand. Mount San Antonio College has the largest enrollment of any institution in the state of California. It is a 2-year school. It is a 2-year school and has almost 60,000 students.
Wow.
Oh, they got money.
So they have money. Always have money to do whatever they need to do. But again, I think this is also hilarious. How long have we been talking about Mount Sac? I don't know, 20 minutes. Haven't mentioned Aiden Owens.
I was about to.
I mean, the deck itself, Aiden Owens was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The whole deck competition was fire though.
The deck, here's what people don't get. The Brian Clay deck was phenomenal.
Yes.
Nobody even saw that because Aiden Owens didn't break the collegiate record. Yep, I said it. At Mount Sac. But he scored 8,528 points.
Yes.
That's a lot of points.
So
that is a ridiculous amount of points for a collegiate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And
it is a ridiculous number of points.
I know you know all of it, but let's run through it. 10-2 in the 100, 46-0 in the quarter.
Yeah. 13.
46, like 12 or 13, yeah.
And then like 412 or 413 in the 1500.
413.
Yeah, that's wild.
Those running events are pretty good.
Man.
There are 7 other events in there too.
So will he represent Puerto Rico?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he is now qualified for World Championships.
Yep. So he will be there.
Another race that we cannot miss from Mount Sac. Miss Courtney Wayment ran 9:26.88 in the steeplechase.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to say this so people understand this. I was at the University of California. I was the head track and field coach, and we had a guy on money that ran that.
Bro, listen.
No, I'm being serious. Like, and I wasn't mad that he was on money. He wasn't on a lot of money. What I'm saying is, like, he ran that as a high school senior, first race as a collegiate freshman.
Oh man.
Right? I wasn't upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not terrible. He's a dude.
The number 2 time in the country was set this last weekend at Brian Clay by a sophomore, Miss Thorner from New Mexico. So number 2 is 9:40.98. Miss Wayman ran 9:26.
Yeah, what does that look like on TV, right? Good Lord.
Bad.
And then I'm not sure where she was, but she was out there somewhere. The young lady from LSU had a weekend. I think I want to say she ran 4:13 and 2 flat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lot to digest.
This was not the weekend to have a really good performance because nobody knows.
Getting overshadowed.
And then did Ernie Sears jump 7.5 this weekend? 7.6, something like that? No, I jumped
Something like that.
2:30.
Yeah, seven. So that's 6.5.
Tough times, but on schedule, right?
Yeah.
Right about time. So good planning on everybody's part. Now you got to maintain and do it again.
Well, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, I think that we witnessed it indoors. I still think that if the national meet had been in a different facility, we'd have seen better marks. But it was what it was. But I think that this year, you get your popcorn ready because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Oh,
Man.
Jeez. Do we dare get off this cart and go on to another cart?
Let's go.
I mean,
I'm
that's
sure
what we do, right?
I'm sure we missed some things.
I know, and we will. And
Oh no, we'll get killed for this. We'll get killed for this. Hold on. Clayton, I can't say it. Clayton from Sam Houston jumped 19 and a quarter, not 580 at Mount Sac in the pole vault. Like, what's going on?
Just because it's Thursday.
Yes. World leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's nuts. All right. Well, now I don't even know if I can say it like this, get off of the stats and go over to something that encompasses the topic that we just had. Who do you all think is the greatest combo sprinter, meaning 100, 200, 400 out there, both male and female?
Wait, out there or all time?
Oh, I guess that's a great question. I didn't clarify that. Are we going all time? All time. Okay, all time.
Yeah.
My bad.
This feels like something the governor should open.
Roll some stats.
Oh, well, can we start with the woman?
Yeah, because that's
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay. So I think obviously this is a subjective question because you have the statistics, right? Let's start with Marita Koch. Okay. 1083, 2171, and 4760. Okay. Then we go to Florence Griffith Joyner. 1061, 2134, 5089. We know what that could have been. We know what 50.
Wait, you said 1061.
Huh?
You stealing the world record?
49.
She ran 1049.
9.
You said 61.
1049. You said 61.
Okay, sorry. Then you have Marion Jones, 1065, 2162. Can I finish? 5036. Okay. So now we enter this
Reality.
Shanae Miller
No.
Weibo, 1098, 2174, 4836. Next, Sherika Jackson, 1076, 2182, 4947.
That's the one that most people wouldn't have guessed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then we get to Allison Felix, 1089, 2169, 4926. Okay. After that, you're talking about Gwen, Marie Jose Perec, Briscoe, Privalova. I mean, this list is just stupid.
Ridiculous.
Just take your pick.
Okay. I'll take my pick.
Okay, let's go.
Since I'm going to instantly disqualify the first three
Oh my
for
God.
obvious reasons.
This guy.
Instantly disqualified. The conversation for me starts with the Bahamian, the
Mhm.
Jamaican, and Allison.
Okay.
Now, it's for, like you said, it is subjective, and it's
Yes.
really, really interesting
Yep.
because Allison is obviously at the tail end of her career, yet
Right.
still in a position where she's collecting medals.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sherika's, Sherika and Shanae are kind of in the early stages. You know, they're young enough that they could do a lot of things, right? I think by the end of this year, I will change my mind and crown Shanae.
Okay.
But she needs another medal before I can do that. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's Allison because the numbers are close enough and she has the hardware.
Yes.
But Shanae is one individual gold away from me just handing it to her because who's going to stop her?
Let's see. Okay, so let me do as I do and stir the pot with you.
Yes, I am here for this.
Here we go.
Shanae has won the 400.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Has she ever medaled in the 200?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
She medaled in the 200.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has she ever medaled in the 100? No.
No.
She will never medal in the 100.
No.
So you talk about, see, this is not disrespect Allison like that. I mean, come on. The woman's medaled and been a world champs finalist, I mean, Olympic finalist in the 100. She hasn't medaled in the 100, but she's been an Olympic finalist in the 100, right? She didn't go to Claremont and run 10.9. She goes to Olympic Games and runs 10.8, right? So for me, I don't even know why we're having a discussion. I mean, I'm not one to waste my words. I mean, it's Allison. It's not even close. You know, so if we're going to eliminate the first three, is you what?
No.
For what?
We aren't doing that. He
Okay,
is.
he is okay. So
This guy.
like okay, so like I don't know how you discount what Koken and what she did either, right? But for me, regardless of whether she was having assistance or not, I'm still riding with Alice, right? I'll still ride with Alice.
Wait, he already said he doesn't know how I discount it and slides in assistance like
I'm
the
just
wind was
saying.
too high or something.
Exactly. Right.
Oh,
So
man.
all I'm saying is that, you know, I love Shanae. I love what she brings to the table, but Allison just brought a different flavor, man. You know, and she's done it for such a long time, and she's the most decorated woman of all time. And again, she's 10.8 and 21.6 and 48 seconds, I believe. So I'm on ride the Allison train.
So let me, because I think we're all going to pick Allison. But you said
No, we're not.
Well,
Lamar's
you're going to be silly and pick one of the disqualified people. But
I'm not going to be silly. I'm going to make a legitimate justification. But go
all
ahead.
right, well then I'll wait to ask Sir Lucius my question. Go ahead.
Go right ahead, Lamar.
Okay, listen. I understand that there are drugs and drug culture and things that we have to take at face value, right? I think we all agree with that. Here's the thing. I'm older than you. and I watched this happen real, and then I watched it on video several times. And I'm going to say this. I've seen some incredible things in track and field. The gun went off in the 400, 27 minutes before the gun went off for the 800 final at the 83 World Championships. And Jarmila Kragdorfilova ran 47.99 in the 400 and 153 in the 800. I'm going to say this again. Those two races are 27 minutes apart at a major championship. Not where it's not at the Tom Jones Invitational where you could just like go get an ice bath and, you know, maybe find a cryo and like jump back out there. Like you got to like go through press and blah, 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 and then go back and attempt to get checked back in and get paraded out. They had drug testing in 83 and she passed. I'm not saying she's clean. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. Drugs or no drugs, if you run under 11 seconds and under 154, I don't care if you were on rocket fuel. You have the greatest range of any female that's ever walked this planet.
But is that the question, sir?
Right. So the question
is the question about range?
The question is who was the greatest combo sprinter, right? So
okay, so the 800 is a sprint now?
You know something? I'm gonna pick Jarmila because sometimes you get extra credit for other shit you do.
Oh wow.
Oh, see.
Listen,
Yes,
we're traveling around the block.
I'm not traveling around.
You do.
Look, you know what? Look, I'll let all of our fans let this digest. You run 10-8, 21, 47.9, and 153. Okay. I'm listening.
She ran 10,
Listen,
she ran 10-8?
Yes.
10-8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jarmila Kragdorfilova's PBs.
Get your boy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Her 10-8 was windy.
I'm
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because the wind doesn't.
Because I'm older than you. And I knew she
You
was
are.
a daggum 10-8.
That was her only assistance.
Legally, 1109,
21.97, 47.99, and 153.
Oh, hey,
Just
listen. Damn
still
the
a
wind.
record.
Damn the wind. Give her the wind.
No, we're not giving
It's the least of the assistance she had was the wind.
Anyway, mainly to be different,
Yeah.
I pick somebody else.
So
I love Allison, don't get me wrong. But look, at the end of the day, if we're just doing combo sprinters, if it was between Allison and Shawnee, I'll take Shawnee every day.
So before we went down this road, and I had
Why? Because I think if they raced in all three, she would lose in all three. That's
her
why.
prime?
Oh
Yes.
Here we go.
Wow.
Yes. I think prime
Wait a
Allison loses to prime Shawnee in the 1, the 2, and the 4. I know she loses in the 1 and the 4. I know this.
How do you know this?
That's an interesting.
Hasn't Allison beating her in the 400 before?
No.
In a major championship?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
She dove and
Yes.
came up short. Did I miss
That's
something?
Rio.
That's Rio.
Oh,
That was Rio.
But wait a minute. we can't let him get away with that because you just said in the 4, prime Shawnee beats prime Allison.
that is
But
what I said.
Allison never ran the 400 in her prime. Seriously.
Not my problem.
But
That's a her and Bobby
But
problem.
you're doing hypotheticals.
But that's all you're going to do is a hypothetical.
Exactly.
You can't make something happen that didn't happen, right? All you can do
So
is take her best.
so you really
her best
believe
was at
that
her prime,
Shawnee?
right?
So you really believe that Shawnee is going to beat her in the 100 and the 200?
Yes.
No.
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 It's
No,
okay.
sir.
Look, guys, I understand. We don't all have to agree.
Clearly,
right?
you don't. Clearly, you don't understand. Are you with me making this ridiculous?
We don't have to agree. I love Allison. This isn't about a love fest. This is just what I think. It's my opinion, right?
So we all love you too, and you're entitled to your opinion. It's wrong this
Thank
time.
you.
But yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, y'all can say what you want to say.
So
SKU, right?
Exactly.
So I had a very similar mindset as Lamar did when this topic came up, because I cannot let go of the fact that Miss Privalova completely reinvents herself in Sydney, comes out of seemingly nowhere and wins the 4 hurdles. Like,
Correct.
I mean, so you're talking about world record in the 60, right? 1077 in the 100, 2187 and 4989 in the quarter. Like,
And what, 52 something in the 400 hurdles?
yes. I mean, stupid. But Allison's a GOAT. Stay right there. This to me is a LeBron MJ conversation.
It is. Most GOAT,
That's what this
almost all GOAT conversations are. They are.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me ask Lucius. Is there anything, since we're making that reference, is there anything that Shawnee could accomplish that would make you get off of that hill?
Well, when I see Shawnee make major championship final in the 100, consistently run fast on it, because it's like Allison didn't just show up at random meets and run fast in the 100. Allison was in the major finals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my thing with Allison. Like, she lined up in the major final and did this.
Well, now
right.
That is true, but correct me
So
if
let me
I'm
ask this
wrong.
question.
She only did it
What if
once.
Shawnee wins the double? What if Shawnee goes to Worlds and wins the 4 and the 2?
That might lean me her way. But see, my thing with Allison is, okay, but see, Allison's won the 4, she's won the 2, and she was in the final of the 100.
Final of the 100, yes.
Yeah,
that's what I get it. And that's what puts Allison over the top for me. Yeah. Because again, do I think Shawnee can run 10-8? I absolutely do, because I've watched her run 10-9, right, or 11-0.
Right.
So the thing is like, but can she do it in the major?
Yeah.
You know, this is not, like you said, this is not a diss to Shawnee at all. Like, Shawnee is just incredible. But I just think that Allison's overall body of work for me. But I now, if Shawnee wins a double, that moves her up for sure. But if she wants to be the all-time GOAT as far as all 3 are concerned,
mm-hmm.
then I mean, unless she decides to go run the 800, and then I still won't care. But
that's fair.
1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4.
Oh god.
Switch lanes.
Fair.
Yes.
Opposite gender.
All right. So we should know this by heart by now.
I mean, we do.
We do. It's stupid. It's just absolute craziness. You know, when you discuss.
I think this conversation boils down to what you think.
Yes.
Fred Curley, Michael Norman, and if he gets back, Wade Van Niekerk will do. Michael's done.
I don't think
Michael's done, right? Nobody thinks any.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Bolt is clearly number 1. It ain't close.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Johnson's clearly number 2. Statistically, whatever, it ain't close. You know, so
what's Bolt's 4? What's his actual legal 400 meter PB?
45.28.
So you say Bolt's 1, and it's at least a conversation.
Not if you put accomplishments into it.
I mean, well, obviously not if you include it. But the funny part is,
I'm going to go where I think Lamar is going to go, and that is that Bolt had the advantage that Worlds were run a lot more than when Michael was running.
A lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Michael had the opportunity to run Worlds every year like Bolt did. What would his record be?
Oh, my
okay.
From the hypothetical standpoint.
That's fine. So
right.
Great, because someone said this earlier, and this is exactly my snap retort to that. Cool. Let's take all of Bolt's world competitions out. He won the Olympics 3 times.
Yeah. Yes.
It still ain't close.
Nope. Nope.
Mike, how many times did Mike win the Olympics? Twice?
Twice.
Twice.
Okay.
Triple,
2 and 3 is
triple.
not close, huh?
Triple.
No, you can get the relay out of there. You put
Okay, triple double.
come on.
And so, okay, hold on. Again, I'm going to say this. I'm
I'm
older
not
than
saying
you,
that.
so there's
Right.
some context to this that you don't look. There's some significant nuances to this, right? Michael ran 43.4 and 1932 in the Olympics, right? In his fourth race and his eighth race. When Bolt ran, there was 3 races of the 1 and 3 races of the 2.
Right.
Those two things are not comparable, sir.
Yeah, so Mike had to jog an opening round.
No, you don't get to call it that. It's still look.
I do
It's
get
still
to call
19.
it that.
It's still 1932 in his 8th race of the week, right? It's still 8 races. I don't care how slow you ran.
What
as you
did he
put it.
run in the first race? 21.5?
No. Look, you can try to do. You can try to belittle things as much as you want.
And
The point.
Some dude wearing a baseball
is,
hat.
The point to it is you still got more races, you still got more rounds, and you still got fewer opportunities to run worlds. So
man.
like it is actually a conversation.
All right.
And let's be clear, right? Like let's not belittle the monumental difference between their 400-meter PBs.
True.
Yeah.
Right? The difference in their 400 PBs is similar to the difference in their 100 PBs. 10-0 and 9.5 and 43 and 45. Yeah, those are gigantic, like King Kong sized gaps.
All right. But
and the only reason I say all that, right, is like, look, if you just talk on numerical, which obviously none of us are going to do, like Fred and Mike have the chance.
no, but that's where I was gonna go with this, because you're the multis guy. And we know you respect the scoring tables more than any of us. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's be real about the numbers.
Yes.
Michael Johnson's number is 38.15 and Michael Norman's number is 38.13.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, Michael Johnson's number is 10 or more, and Michael Norman's number is 0.
Yes.
No, wait, but I'm talking about the raw numbers.
And I know exactly what and my raw numbers is about medals.
Okay.
So don't stop disrespecting Michael Johnson and talk about this nonsense about Michael Norman.
Sir.
Again, going to Mount San Antonio running 43 seconds in April means nothing
Sir,
to me.
I didn't suggest that it
Stop
did.
it.
Here we go.
I didn't suggest that it did.
Michael Johnson. Okay, look, y'all know I'm a Michael Norman fan. I love Michael Norman. I wanted to figure out who the heck he wants to be. But if y'all don't stop trying to compare him to one of the greats that ever walked the
Sir, I
planet,
wasn't doing that. You didn't let me go.
you actually were, because you talk about these dang decathlon tables. Nobody
No,
would
but
hear that.
wait a minute. That was
You
for
exactly where you were going with this too.
Yes,
Exactly.
I did.
Stop
This is
it.
awesome.
no, sir.
That's awesome.
This is for Lamar.
I know
Where I
it's
was
for-
going with
it's
this,
unfair.
where I was going with this, if you remember what I first said, is the real conversation here, and we got distracted, is Bolt's number 1 and Mike is number 2. The
Right.
real question is who's holding the bronze medal, not who's the best, because we know who the best is Bolt. So for me, the third place, who's the third best of all time, is the convo between Mike, Fred, and Wade. And I was going to point out that the raw numbers have Norman way ahead.
Yeah.
Way ahead. That's
Well,
where I was going.
Well, the raw numbers on my end have him way behind because the other ones have medals and he has none.
Okay. So then between those 3, who would you give it to?
It's not a discussion for me.
What?
They don't
it's
belong
Wade?
None of them belong in the discussion.
They don't
Not
belong.
one
We're
of them.
talking about third place.
Okay, there is no bronze medal here. No.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
we do not diss bronze medalists on this show.
I didn't diss the bronze medalist. I said we're not giving a bronze medal because those two, in my opinion, are so far ahead of everybody. They
Yes.
are. Because hold on a second. So we're going to talk about a bronze medalist, and let's talk about Carl. Let's talk about Leroy. Let's talk about some people that did all 3 and also medal stuff, right?
But the other
Okay,
two have medals, sir.
They have one.
Yes, but it's a medal.
Okay, I said medals. You said
Oh,
medal.
man.
They have one.
I love this show.
Let's not
Show
put
is
the cart before the
show
horse.
is the
And see,
greatest.
he's doing this on purpose. And so he's doing it on purpose. And I'm not buying it. Look,
So we
I-
can't
okay,
get
hold
you
on a
on the
second.
record
Okay.
with
hold on a
the
second.
current debate, which is between those three.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
the people want.
First-
That's what
first-
Twitter wants to
okay,
know.
So here's what Twitter wants to know. Okay. Wade is hurt, and we may never hear from him again, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes. Okay. Michael Norman is a tremendous talent, as is Fred Curley, right? But until they line up and get medals, they're just potential. And potential simply means you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
None of
you
us
know,
disagree. We just want you to pick the best
the-
potential.
The unfortunate part about Michael Norman, right?
Best
The unfortunate
potential? What is that?
the unfortunate part about Michael Norman is we had this conversation, all of us off the camera, about potential and how it's a great thing until you get to the point where that's all people are talking about is your potential.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes an albatross around your neck. And the unfortunate part is Michael Norman is a non-medal performance in this world championship from that being an issue.
Yes.
Like this is, if this was like a ball sport, like this is a must win.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he has to leave this championship with at least one individual medal, be it 4, be it 2, be it 1. Nobody cares. But given his talent, he has to leave this world championships with a medal of some sort.
Absolutely. Michael Norman is too talented to be the most talented relay bandit of all time. That can't be it. He's got to pick an event and get it done.
And on that same token, can we all sit here and see that exact thing playing out where he does not?
Dude, listen, if he
Sir,
picks the wrong event,
if he picks the 100, 200, he might not make the team.
that's what I'm saying. If he picks the wrong event, he could get locked out of making the team.
If he picks
if
the
you're gonna
1 and
ask
the
me-
2,
if
he
you're
might
gonna
not make
ask
the
me
team.
to list somebody on potential, I like Kenny.
Hmm.
Kenny's
Kenny
probably top 10 on that list at this point. He's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, but if you ask me about
yeah,
potential,
for
I
sure.
think he has the highest ceiling of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you there. I think Kenny
right
Bednarik.
behind Xavier Carter.
There you go.
Xavier's in 8th right now, and Kenny's right underneath him.
Damn,
I think Kenny
How good I
Bednarik
was
might
on
have
that.
he might have the highest ceiling of anybody in the sport. No. Ariane Knighton
I'm
has the
gonna say
highest ceiling
no.
of anybody in the sport.
Let me
Besides the teenager,
thank,
I think Kenny Bednarik might have the highest ceiling of anybody in the sport.
So thank you for reminding me of that, Lamar, because nobody, and I asked Sir Lucius what Mr. Knighton's split was on that 4x4, because did he talk to the dude on his leg? Were they conversating or something? It looked like they were just kind of going for a stroll.
Well, like
And
Jacob
Mr. Knighton just
didn't know
says-
what to do. Like he was like,
Oh, he was
Coach,
frozen.
I didn't know what
He was
to
frozen.
do. He goes, I tried to go up on him. He speed up and slow down. And he said, and I figured I'd take off at 200 and he took off before I did. Right? Because so everybody's like, oh, you should have run his legs off of him. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have. You don't run the legs off a 19.8 guy.
Right, because he was
You did it.
playing the first half. Like,
Exactly. Because Jacob didn't know what to do. He said, Coach, no matter what I did, it was going to be the wrong thing. So I
Right.
just
No,
stayed
that's
where I
true.
was. He did exactly what he needed to do. And then
listen.
when Ariane took off, he just did his best to stay close to him as he could.
With
Listen.
all due respect to Mr. Miley, who did a phenomenal job in that position, he's right.
Yeah.
No matter what he did,
Yeah.
it was the wrong answer. No matter what he did, Knighton was going to light his ass up regardless. So
Listen,
just sit there and follow.
Yeah.
We all agree that, like, rattlesnakes are poisonous and dangerous, right? But what do you do with a two-headed rattlesnake that has talons and like jaws for teeth? Like, listen, Arian Knighton literally is a teenager, folks.
Yeah.
Like, I said this to him. If you just keep going to practice and doing what you're told to do, you're going to get better, because God's making you better every day, because you're only 18. Like, so, all of us were better at 18 than we were 17, as long as you don't get hurt. Right? Because God's still filling your body with testosterone.
And while we're talking about splits, and you know, we don't have Andy on the show because he could just tell me right now. So I'm relying on the governor to know this. Maybe one of y'all do. At the world level, there are ways to decipher you know, flying 100 splits in the 4x1. And Bolt, I know, has the fastest ever. Mm-hmm. And what was it? Was it 8? It was 8 something. I just don't know how low it was.
Yes.
But understand, if you take the proper formatted video from the television broadcast of the 4x1 in Gainesville this past weekend, and you shoot it and you put it into Dartfish, you will find that Mr. Knighton was 8.8 on the fly.
So Bolt clocked 8:79.
So like I said, leave Mr. Knighton on the anchor, because it's 8.8 and it's April.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Flamingo on 3, Knighton on anchor, and all you have to do is figure out the first 2 pieces. You're halfway to your world record.
Listen, the youngin can still fit in an adult small t-shirt. Okay, folks? He is only going to get better, and the dude is already run 10.0 and 9.8, 19.8. Like, listen, the smartest thing to do is like not run the event he runs. That's the smartest thing to do. Because he's not a problem, he's the answer.
Yeah.
Fun
times, man.
Goodness
Embarrassment
gracious.
of riches for the United States.
And let's see who gets lit up and motivated by this conversation. Because there's going to be a trickle. We just dropped the pebble, now the ripples are going to happen. So let's see. I mean,
ripple on.
Sir Lucius, I feel, is like consciously not writing notes right now and just waiting. He's not going to give away the secret.
Nope, I will not.
With that, we will go ahead and segue our way into rapid fire. And the governor, you're up, sir.
Here we go.
So, all right. Hopefully get you with some fun stuff. Where is your dream vacation taking place?
Oh my God. She just asked somebody who's from the Cayman Islands.
I know, that's why. That was
oh my God. Watch them say like Utah.
No. It's
no kidding.
Flying to Georgetown, Grand Cayman, getting off the plane, going to the grocery store, getting my nourishment for the week, heading up to Cayman Kai, staying at Island Homes, and just vegging out for an entire week. Not a care in the world. Watch comes off. Phone is turned off.
Oh,
that's it right there.
That sounds like a good one.
I just want the entire world to know what a ridiculously massive flex all of that was.
All right. What is your astrological sign?
Aries.
Aries?
Does it match your personality?
In some respects, yes. Stubbornness, absolutely.
No way.
Oh yeah.
The reoccurring question.
When is your exact birthday, sir?
March 30th.
So for those of you who dig deeper into the astrological signs, understand this, that that the governor and I are both Aries, but he's a March Aries and I'm an April Aries.
Mhm.
And all of the subtleties between those two things are exhibited in our personalities.
That's funny.
Yep.
The question that is reoccurring, where will you never go again? I think you're the last one to get it.
Utah.
Oh, put a bias to Utah right now.
If I can help it, I will never go to Moscow again.
Told y'all. Listen, the people in
Never.
Russia are going to come get me at some point, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Everybody's on the Russia kick. I just haven't been to Russia.
That's so funny.
It's a dumpster fire.
One of few places on this planet where I'm walking down the street and I'm just uneasy. And it doesn't happen. I mean, I've been everywhere. Just saying.
What is your go-to TV show?
It's in the world of streaming and all of that. I mean, we're so far past the Cosby Show and all of that now. That's, now it's like things pop up. So right now, my cheap thrill is Moon Knight. I'm enjoying that show.
Oh, I've heard good things.
Yes.
I have a funny story, a fun fact after this. What was your first, or what or who was on your first poster?
Ooh,
my.
That's a good one.
My first poster, Right On Magazine, LL Cool J.
Sounds about right.
With a red Kango.
Yes.
And I think he had red suede Pumas around his neck, sitting like this.
Right On Magazine, buddy.
I may have had that picture.
that turned into an entire wall of just hip hop and MJ.
Wow. Did you have a Blockbuster card in your wallet?
Right now?
No, before, at any point, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
If you do right now, I'll be laughing at you.
In fact, I do. I bet you if I dug in my garage, I could find my Blockbuster card. Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
Think about this. I had a Blockbuster card up until I left Gainesville and moved to Tallahassee. I had a Blockbuster card up until that point. Yep.
All right, gentlemen, your questions, please.
So I've got a good one for you. So you can go back to any of the jobs you had before. Where are you going back to?
Oh.
Oh Lord!
This is what happens when you hang around. You hang around Clyde, you get petty, right?
Really? This is what we're doing now.
That's funny because I wrote this question down and I deleted it.
That's a twofold question because in one situation there was an opportunity, and then there's another situation where I was in the opportunity and I decided to take another one, and I was already on my way to solidifying myself in the history books of that one place. And so I'm gonna get away from hypotheticals. We all have been through situations like this, but I feel like I could have done some amazing things in Missouri. And sometimes you kind of have to take a step back and go, wow, okay. Sometimes it's right in front of you. Sometimes, it's not just that simple to have a freshman win 60 at SECs, right? And, I look back on that now and I'm like, man, it doesn't matter who was in the picture or who wasn't running or whatever. That is something that very, very few people can say that they have on their resume.
Yep.
So, lesson learned. And for those out there, listen close to what I just said.
So
Where are we going, Clyde?
I want to ask you this, but it almost feels wrong because there's a very significant reason why this dysfunction ultimately was happening. But I would like you, since we're talking about things from this past weekend, and Lamar opened the door with how well Tom Jones was run.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most interesting screw up from the Mount Sac relays this weekend?
And there's the layup. Just loft the ball up. Let me jump up and get it. Bring it.
Because look, Sir Lucius doesn't know what I'm talking about.
So Lamar, you don't know the story, do you?
I don't.
Big League, you don't know the story?
Mm-mm.
So, Sir Lucius, imagine this, okay? You've picked your team up. You have flown across the country to compete at the first, Mount Sac meet in that stadium. Here we are, okay? Now, on your way there, you picked up your phone, you looked at the schedule. The elite 4x1 is set for Friday. Okay? So you're looking at the schedule. You have the 4x1, then the 100, and then later in the afternoon, you have the 200, right? So you've been prepping your athletes. Okay, this is going to be holy hell on your body. Get ready, get your mind right. This is a precursor to, first round, precursor to possible nationals, da 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 da. So you're warming up for the 4x1. Okay? It's 30 minutes to go. You're getting in your spikes, you're starting to do your final relay handoffs, and someone comes on a loudspeaker and says, ladies and gentlemen, the 4x1 was supposed to be run on Saturday. However, okay, this is happening. This is happening live, like right in front of us. However, since y'all have already started warming up, you can go ahead and run it on Friday. No consequence whatsoever. And then you can turn around and run it again on Saturday. The choice is yours. Have at it. That is
Wow.
how started Mount Sac relays.
Holy. Listen,
Now-
folks.
Now-
Logistics matter.
Hello.
Now
So-
listen.
So here's, my situation. My athletes are looking at me. We're seeing people hightailing it out of the warm-up area. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Folks start putting their shoes on, they're walking out. So my kids have already put their sweats back on, everything. Then I find out that only 3 teams decided not to run. I'm like, guys, this is a cluster already. We are going to run this race. And they're looking at me like, coach, like, I'm like, no, because I knew that the odds that these folks are going to come back on Saturday,
Yeah.
slim to none. So
Oh.
I said, let's go ahead and run it. We might not be as hyped up as we were, and we ran the race. I think we got 3rd in our heat. And sure enough, the next day, that 4x1 was a shadow. no Texas, no. I mean, it was nobody showed up.
So to that point, I'm on the opposite end
Mm-hmm.
because as the schedule changed prior to the announcement, they had what was put into the schedule was, and it didn't make sense to me when it was put out. On Friday, there were the elite 4x1 prelims.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You were meant to run on Friday
Yep.
and come back if you made the final and run again
Final,
on Saturday.
Yeah.
However, there were other 4x1s on Saturday
Mm-hmm.
who just got put in
Yes.
and didn't have to race on Friday. Now, in my world, the elite people should only have to run once.
They had to run once. Yes.
Right.
My men's 4x1, which all due respect to my crew, because I know some of them watch the show, they know this will not be a surprise to them. We ain't elite. So when I see the schedule and I'm like, wait, we're only running on Saturday? Well, hell, that's a problem because we're in Long Beach on Saturday. So I tell my kids, I guess we're not running the 4x1 at Mount Sac. My girls are racing on Friday. The loudspeaker comes and I'm like, so wait, so my men can run today?
Yeah.
They at the hotel.
Yeah.
We weren't on the schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Ernie, you think we can get them up here in time? I'm like, hell no. So it was, listen,
Giants.
we were all very happy to be back at Mount Sac. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the untimely and unfortunate passing of Ron Kamaka
Absolutely.
did a lot to lead to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ron
I'm
Kamaka
sure
he ran Mount Sac for more than 20 years. Yes,
Right.
that is exactly
I'm
what happened.
certain that this will not go on in the future, but it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I've never been a part of anything like this. How do you not know what's happening in the first event?
Like it was they literally said on the loudspeaker, I mean, you can run or not run. It's kind of like whatever.
What does that mean? Yeah.
That would have been Sir Lucius. That would have been Sir Lucius's head splitting open in his brain, just popping out.
You know it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Amar, yours question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always struggle when I have to ask the governor questions because he's like my brother, and I've asked every question on the planet in private in most cases. You know what? I'm going to ask a simple and complicated question at one time. Who is the best athlete you have ever competed against?
Wow.
I mean, you got Reggie Jones, Eric Walder, Festus Igbudogany, Carl Lewis, Mike Conley, Ivan Pedroso,
oh, man.
Mike Powell.
So that's
Yep, it is.
That's very difficult. And I say that because so, you know, from when you talk about the eyeball test, watching Carl was like watching poetry. It was technically efficient. It was easy. It looked just effortless, right? But some of the things I've seen James Beckford do,
I mean, right?
I mean, let's think about what his stat line is, okay? Like we're talking Mike Conley never did what James Beckford did in terms of both, in terms of 8 what did he jump? 864?
64 or 60. It's right around your PB, no diss, but
Right.
it's almost the same.
But what I'm talking about is I've seen James Beckford run down the runway, check up, speed up, check up, speed up again, and jump 820. And it's just like, see, that's just not fair. That's not supposed to do that.
And jump 17 meters plus.
Yeah.
Same way. Yeah.
By far one of the most, I mean, Carl is the GOAT. Let's just call a spade a spade. It is what it is. But in terms of just raw ability, and I don't think he ever truly refined himself. Like, I mean, James Beckford is one of the all-time just stupid talented kids I've ever seen in my life. Bet you didn't know I was going to go there, did you?
Oh, I thought he had a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
James Beckford he's top 3 all-time combo jumpers.
Yes.
By PBs.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you survived. You survived another round. Made you think a little bit, but that's okay too.
Yeah. Sir Lucius threw a curveball at me. Yeah. We'll keep that one in the books.
That's so funny. All right, so time for heartbeat props. Who do we want to recognize and lift up this week?
I think Sir Lucius, speaks for me as well. I'd like to keep Tanja Buford Bailey in our prayers.
Yep.
Very just out of the blue situation, and I'm just praying that everything goes well for her.
Yeah, I know we talked about it earlier, but she's my heartbeat props today as well. She's a phenomenal young person, young lady that's doing a phenomenal job, and she's got some health issues. So we just ask everybody to keep Tanja in your prayers, and we're praying for you, homegirl.
Yep.
Hope you get better soon.
Indeed.
I real quick am going to do one that we've actually said before, and only because I got to connect with this person. Micah Puri. I got to have a short conversation with him on the phone before bedtime the other night. And it was amazingly awesome to hear the excitement in his voice to say hi. And he says hi to the rest of the Tiles. But it's awesome to know that we have an influence even on that young of a crowd to where, they may not understand what they're learning, but they're learning something and they'll take it with them along the way. So hello, Mr. Micah. Stop jumping off beds with your brothers, please.
I'm going to be, I guess, somewhat selfish. Like I'm going to give my heartbeat props to one of my clients and an incredible young man who is doing something that's very difficult to do, which is just progressing in his fledgling baseball career. And my heartbeat props go out to one Mr. Spencer Packard, who is a member of the Seattle Mariners high A team, the Everett Aqua Sox. Shout out to the Aqua Sox, who is making a very difficult game seem relatively easy. And he is doing the thing we tell little kids to do, which is see ball, hit ball. He's from Arizona, been warm all his life. He's playing in Everett, Washington. I was lucky enough to go out to a game, and game time it was 55 degrees and raining. and for an Arizonian, that's pretty much the frozen tundra. And all he did was produce 2 for 2 with 2 walks and the player of the game. So I wanted to be a little light this evening. I too am a friend of Coach Buford Bailey's, and obviously she is in my prayers. But Tonight, my heartbeat props go out to somebody who doesn't watch the show, so I will have to call him and tell him to watch. Mr. Spencer Packard. Go Aqua Sox. Clyde, it's on you.
Nah, it's Tanja. Get well soon, baby.
Yep.
That's it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's a common thought across the board. So, well, gentlemen, it's been fun. We did another episode. We keep going, keep showing up. So I know, exactly. Love it. Love it. Thank you all for we keep reeling you back in. So thanks for sticking around with us. And we'll get another episode in next week. Other than that, have fun, travel safe, run fast, throw far, jump high, jump far. Bye, everyone.